Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Meetinghouse of Provincetown, where we affirm the inherent worthiness and dignity of every person, and where we support each other on our spiritual search for truth and meaning. My name is Kathleen Henry. I'm editor of your UU Meetinghouse newsletter. Yay. If you want to sign up for that, if you don't have it yet, you can do so with Kenneth in the office, or you can always see it on the website. And I also sing in the choir, and today I am serving as your worship host. Welcome to all of you here in the room, and also to all of you on our live stream. This morning, we welcome to our pulpit Rabbi Donna Berman. Rabbi Berman has been the executive director of the Charter Oak Cultural Center in Hartford, Connecticut, a multicultural arts center doing the work of social justice through the arts for the past 24 years. For Charter Oak, the arts are not a luxury, but a human right. This is Rabbi Berman's third year visiting our congregation, and she tells me she's delighted to be back, and we are delighted to have her here. Before we go on with our service, I have just a few announcements to share. Our next round of circle suppers will be taking place on Saturday night, October 11th. These are small potluck dinners in members' homes, and it's a great way to get to know each other in a more intimate setting. Much easier than walking up to a stranger at coffee hour. If you are interested in attending or hosting, please sign up on the clipboard at the welcome table downstairs. We are also excited to announce a concert coming up here at the Meetinghouse, a concert by Peter Mayer, who wrote the hymn, Blue Boat Home, that we love so much. That's in the Teal hymnal. This concert will be on Friday, October 24th at 7 p.m., and tickets are available on brown paper tickets, which you can link to from our website, uumh.org. Please come and bring friends. Each week at our UUMH action table at coffee hour, we offer one thing you can do in the world to feel a little less hopeless and a little more powerful. At this morning's action table, you will find shopping lists for our little free pantry. The next time you are at the store, please consider picking up a few extra items to help those in need in our community. We refill the pantry every day. And as always, thank you so much to all our pantry volunteers. This Wednesday evening is our Quaker worship service. This happens at 6 p.m. on the first Wednesday of every month. We hope you can join us. And finally, if you are here in person today, we hope that you will stick around for a little while after the service for coffee and conversation downstairs in Acker Bosworth Hall. And now, let's take a moment to affirm our community's covenant. You can find this on the little purple laminated cards in your pews, or you can just listen line by line as I say it and repeat each line after me. Love is the spirit of this Meetinghouse. This is our great covenant. To dwell together in peace. To seek the truth in love. And to help one another. And now, as we light our chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those of you watching online to light a candle wherever you are. In this way, we can feel connected even though we are apart. And I invite Lorraine to light our chalice for us as I read these words. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. And now I invite you to join me in singing our opening hymn, number 83, Winds Be Still. That's number 83 in the gray hymnals, Winds Be Still. Please rise as you are able.
Good morning. It is so wonderful to see you all here today. I invite you now into a time of meditation and prayer. During this time, or at any time during the service, you are welcome to light a silent candle at the table to the right of the pulpit, where there is a journal to record your thoughts and prayers. After our prayer, we will sing together Spirit of Life, hymn number 123, which is also printed on the purple laminated cards in your pews. We'll sing first in English and then in Spanish. This morning's prayer is by Rabbi Jack Reamer. Now is the time for turning. The seasons change, as does the balance of day and night. The birds are beginning to turn and are heading once more toward the south. The animals are beginning to turn to storing their food for the winter. For the earth, birds, and animals, turning comes naturally. But for us, turning does not come so easily. It takes an act of will for us to turn. It means breaking with old habits. It means admitting that we have been wrong. And this is never easy. It means losing face. It means starting all over again. And this is always painful. It means saying, I am sorry. It means recognizing that we have the ability to change. These things are hard to do, but unless we turn, we will be trapped forever in yesterday's ways. Dear God, help us to turn from callousness to sensitivity, from hostility to love, from pettiness to purpose, from envy to contentment, from carelessness to discipline, from fear to faith. Turn us around, O God, and bring us back toward you. Revive our lives as at the beginning, and turn us toward each other, for in isolation there is no life. Spirit of life.
The first reading this morning happens to be from my favorite book, and Rabbi Berman picked it. I'm thrilled to be reading from This is Happiness by Niall Williams. When I did think of it, I was surprised that Christy was not more downtrodden by the impasse with Annie. And one evening, approaching the village of Kilmahill, where Michael the archangel himself had stopped, and where every man we met was called some version of Michael, I asked him why. He explained himself in a single sentence. I won't do the Irish brogue. Noel, he said, and took a theatrical breath. This is happiness. I gave him back the look you give those who are a few shillings short of a pound. I know, he said. Whenever I said that, it used to drive my wife mad. You were married? I was. She left me for a better man, God bless her, he said, and nodded down the valley after the memory of her. He smiled, quoting himself, "This is happiness." It was a condensed explanation, but I came to understand him to mean you could not stop at, not all, but most of the moments of your life. Stop for one heartbeat. And no matter what the state of your head or heart, say, oh, this is happiness, because of the simple truth that you were alive to say it.
Our second reading is Breathing by Kevin Adonis Brown. Breathing is the beginning. It is, for us, a first and final movement. In it, we find the prototype of all method, without which, nothing. Breathing, thus, is the foregrounding of all concept, its precursor and first condition, its resolution. Before and after language, and all that comes and goes unuttered, it is that block of text in the negative space of the page, noticed from the corner of the eye, a premium in these times. Dear, dearer still, it is how, through the movement of space, life is able to consider itself, and we, by holding it, are able to grasp a finitude that cannot otherwise be grasped, a meaning that cannot be held. Breathing is life delivered as soliloquy, but which echoes the vast chorus, a quiet, often rushed, sometimes heavy, sometimes as labored as the horizon, sometimes rattled as stone in a half-emptied chest. But there, in the persistent come hither and go forth of its unseen stillness, is the microscopy of intention that, after bursting into the ether and settling to engulf the heart, begins again.
Now is the time in our service where we take a collection for the ongoing support of this meeting house and our shared ministry. As we enjoy a musical reflection by our choir, we welcome your donations here in the sanctuary or online through PayPal or Venmo. You can find that information on our website, and there are QR codes in the pews as well. I invite 3 volunteer ushers to come forward for the collection. On and off-site, your offerings will now be gratefully received.
sounded lovely with the guitar, so you know.
My goodness, that was so beautiful. I think they need another round of applause. Thank you so much for that gift. Good morning, everyone. It is so great to be back with you again. It's a delight to be here to enjoy this beautiful service, this beautiful music, to be in community with you, to be in this beautiful physical and spiritual space. Thank you, Kathleen, for being our worship host today. Thank you, Reverend Kate, for allowing me to stand at the pulpit to which you so brilliantly and heartfully bring your wisdom. It's an honor to be here. This is happiness. To those of you who are celebrating the Jewish New Year, Shana Tova, I wish you and all of us days of blessing ahead. Do you know that feeling, part surprise, part disorientation, of hitting that circle of arrows on your phone when you want to take a selfie and all of a sudden you're seeing yourself? It's disorienting because we are so used to looking out at things, to being a voyeur, and all of a sudden when we press that icon, everything is different because it's our own face we see. We have flipped the lens and our whole perspective has shifted. During this sacred time between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, known as the Yamim Noraim, the days of awe, our charge is to turn inward, to see where we have fallen short, where we have not demonstrated enough integrity, enough kindness, enough generosity, enough compassion. During this holy week, we are called to take a spiritual selfie. We are asked to face ourselves. Who are we truly? What have we done? What can we do better? How have we failed to let the spark of God that dwells within us shine? And this is a hard question. This is a liberating question. This question, not grandiosity or posturing or curated Facebook pages of smiling people, happy moments, and beautiful food. This question is what leads us to a deeper, richer life. But let me be clear. This is not about castigating ourselves. This is not a time to beat ourselves up. No, this is the place of power as we move from victimhood to responsibility. We transcend grudges and revenge and the stories we tell ourselves about how we have been wronged to look at how we may have wronged others, what we did, how we acted out. Now, in the world in which bullying has become commonplace, in which the watchword is to never take responsibility, never to say I made a mistake and I'm sorry, this is considered weak. But the truth is that taking what the rabbis call a cheshbon hanefesh, an assessment of the state of our souls, is the place of strength because it takes courage to truly see ourselves, because it takes an act of will to change, as Rabbi Reamer's words reminded us this morning. Because any change we wish to manifest in the world must begin with us, with this brave search within. And not only is taking our measure and taking responsibility a place of power, it is also the place of compassion. As we acknowledge and make room for our own unfinished places, we have more room for others' unfinished places and move beyond the need to punish ourselves or others for our inevitable failings. So that during these days of awe, we wield that most potent tool of all, forgiveness. Not polite, knee-jerk forgiveness, but a forgiveness grounded in reality and the hard work of seeing the truth of a situation, a forgiveness grounded in an expansive heart and deep wisdom. So the question is, do we have the fortitude to do all this, to take that selfie? Well, it seems to me that this year, during the Yamim Noraim, Days of Awe, the need for us to look inward as a country, as a society, too, is particularly urgent. It feels increasingly like things are topsy-turvy. What has been seen as repugnant behavior is now acceptable, sometimes even venerated. Anti-racism work is deemed racist. Standing up against the slaughter of over 60,000 Palestinian people is called anti-Semitic, even if the person standing up against this is Jewish and speaking from a place of grounding in Jewish values. It feels increasingly like we have lost our moral compass, our moorings, the bedrock values that have anchored us in previous storm-tossed seas. As a nation, as citizens of the world, we need to take that metaphorical selfie too, and looking at ourselves, ask, who are we? What have we become? Who do we want to be? How can we do our part to protect those who are suffering and to stop those who are wantonly inflicting suffering here and around the world? We are not used to this. We are used to looking outward, and by only looking outward, we expose ourselves to many risks. The risk of blaming others, the risk of objectifying others, the risk of not seeing ourselves and our own agency. One of the most profound experiences I've had in my over 24 years as the executive director of the Charter Oak Cultural Center has been a weekly discussion group we started 3 years ago, focused on the 1619 Project. The way the discussion is conducted is modeled after a Torah study session. People sitting around, in this case on Zoom, starting from the beginning of the text and reading it aloud and discussing as we go. Sometimes we get through a few pages in an hour, sometimes just a paragraph or two, sometimes a sentence, as we explore the meaning of the passages, the implications for us and our country. We conducted the conversations this way because we approached the 1619 Project as sacred text, and we finished it. We read every word of it, every single word of this 400-page book out loud. And last December, we read the last word, and we breathed a collective amen. The 1619 Project is a selfie. It is banned by some and the object of vitriol because it forces America to look at itself, to look beyond the slogans and myths of superiority, to see how the very foundations of this nation, physical and metaphorical, were laid by enslaved people, to see how even laws passed to free and protect enslaved people were circumvented through deceit and manipulation over and over again by the rich and the powerful. The story of slavery is not tangential to the history of the United States. It is not a phase. It is at the heart of the history of our country. It lasted over 250 years, and its legacy is still part of our everyday life, as the essays in the 1619 Project demonstrate. The book exposes this harsh truth. The question is, who has the courage to flip the lens and look honestly at the reality of what slavery meant and means, and who wants to throw the camera to the ground? So after we finished reading every word of the 1619 Project, we decided to continue on because the experience was so rich, the conversations so multi-layered, the sense of community so comforting. And by the way, you are all invited to join us every Wednesday at noon on Zoom. The link is on the Charter Oak Cultural Center website, and we'd love to welcome you because we read everything out loud and there's no reading done in advance. It's easy to jump in at any time. So, as a follow-up to the 1619 Project, we decided to read Christina Sharp's magnificent book, Ordinary Notes. In one part of the book, Sharp reflects on her visit to the Legacy Museum in Montgomery, Alabama, a museum that explores the history and legacy of slavery. And she asks, what if visitors to a memorial to the victims of lynching, what if they were met with the enlarged photographs of faces of those white people who were participant in and witness to that terror then and now? What if they had to face themselves? What an important question. What would it be like for visitors, for us, to see reflected back the faces not only of the lynched, but the lynch mob, faces that for those of us who are white look very much like our own? Would that help us take bolder steps in healing the wounds, personal and societal, that the traffic in human beings, the institution of slavery, inflicted? Would it bring home to us how the evil of slavery poisoned us all and continues to poison us all? The theologian Katie Cannon did the work of theology from her perspective as a Black woman, and she called her method womanist theology. And one of the main points of her work was that oppression denigrates and ultimately destroys everyone. The oppressed, certainly, but also the oppressor. We don't often think of things this way. We think of winners and losers. Those who are oppressed are the losers, and the oppressors are the winners. But Katie Cannon's point is that when anyone is mistreated, when anyone's dignity is undermined, everyone is diminished, everyone loses. Flipping the lens from the oppressed to the oppressor and recognizing that fact, that we all pay the price for not honoring the sanctity of every living being, she felt would go a long way in stopping oppression. In her most recent book entitled I Just Keep Talking, A Life in Essays, Nell Irvin Painter writes about the impact of slavery on the enslavers and their families, flipping the lens to look at something too infrequently considered. What happens, she asks, to a child of enslavers who witnesses the cruelty at the heart of slavery? Painter writes, in 1839, a Virginian named John M. Nelson described his shift from painful childhood sympathy to manly callousness. As a child, he would try to stop the beating of enslaved children, and he said, mingle my cries with theirs and feel almost willing to take a part of the punishment. After his father severely and repeatedly rebuked him for this kind of compassion, and this is a quote from him, he became so blunted that I could not only witness their stripes with composure, but myself inflict them, and that without remorse. Painter originally wrote that essay a long time ago, and that may be why she does not address the lifelong effects of the trauma the children of enslavers experienced by witnessing such violence. Neither does she address the construction and perpetuation of toxic masculinity that is so central to the story of slavery. Painter goes on to explore the question of what happens to the wives of enslavers as they watch their husbands abusing and having children with enslaved women. Painter writes, if historians do not acknowledge that wealthy white women saw themselves in competition with women who are black and poor and powerless, they miss a vital dimension of Southern history that helps explain the thorniness of women's contacts across the color line well after legal segregation ended. We must acknowledge, she writes, the existence of two ways of seeing. Painter flips the lens, and while holding the horror of slavery, asks us to look too at the price enslavers and their families paid for their abuses. They did not get away unscathed. The poison they administered by virtue of attempting to own other human beings entered their bloodstream too. W.E.B. Du Bois also noted the corrosive psychological toll that the institution of slavery had on enslavers. A couple of weeks ago, I was driving in my car and I heard an interview on NPR that Scott Simons did with Nesser Abdiani, the vice president of the Afghan Cultural Society in California, in the aftermath of the huge earthquake that hit Afghanistan on August 31st. At least 3,500 people were killed and over 3,000 injured. And Simons asked Mr. Abdiani about the political obstacles to providing help to the affected areas, and Mr. Abdiani said the following, this is a quote from him, well, it's the Taliban. They have a lot of restrictions. We desperately need female doctors in that province. There's none. We don't have too many women doctors in Afghanistan anymore. As you probably know, when the Taliban came, they closed the schools for women, so most of them, they left the country. But those that are still in Afghanistan, they want to volunteer. They want to go to these camps. They want to go to that ground zero to help out, but they are being turned away. They're not allowed to go there. According to United Nations University, restrictions on women's mobility and bans on female aid workers also means that relief supplies and assistance often could not reach those most in need. To put it simply, more doctors are needed to tend to the victims of the earthquake, and the misogyny of the Taliban has reduced the number of available physicians. This is a very clear example in our own time of how prejudice is destructive to everyone, not just those who are targeted by it. So we see that men suffer from embracing misogyny, white people suffer from harboring racist views, Those who are filled with hate for any group of people have hardened their hearts, and that is not a healthy or sustainable way to live. They have fixed their gaze outward, leaving their internal wounds to fester. The flip side of this that we all know is that we are all happier and healthier, richer and more alive when all are treated with care, when all are free, when all are given the resources they need to cultivate and bring their unique gifts to the world. In Sally McFaig's groundbreaking book, The Body of God, published over 30 years ago, she posits that all living things comprise the body of God. We, all of us, we are the body of God. And this means that we are all interconnected, that pain inflicted on one part of God's body reverberates throughout the whole. And for those of us not comfortable with the concept of God, Michael Brown, author of The Presence Process, puts it this way: we are each a single cell in the body of all that is. Therefore, we cannot hurt another without hurting ourselves. When suffering is inflicted on another anywhere in the world, it is felt in every cell in the body of all that is. There is no escaping it. We ignore this fact at our own peril. Our leaders ignore this fact at their own peril and at our peril. The Color Purple by Alice Walker, one of the main characters, Shug, speaks to this very thing. She says, I believe God is everything that is or ever was or ever will be. And when you can feel that and be happy to feel that, you've found it. My first step from the old white man was trees, then air, then birds, then other people. But one day I was sitting quiet and feeling like a motherless child, which I was, and it come to me. That feeling of being a part of everything, not separate at all. I knew that if I cut a tree, my arm would bleed. I pray that we may have the courage to answer the call of these days of awe, to take cheshbon ha-nefesh, a true accounting of our souls, a spiritual selfie, so that we may take responsibility for our failings and do the work to heal the wounds from which they flow. I pray that as a country we may have the courage to look at ourselves and to see the truth of our history, see the truth of the cruelty and exploitation that gave birth to this nation, a cruelty and exploitation that continue to this day. I pray that we may make ardent, heartful amends so that a different path may finally be forged. And I pray that we may look unflinchingly into our own eyes, that we may look deeply and tenderly into each other's eyes, and there find love and the blessings for which we yearn in the new year ahead. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Berman. I now invite you to join in singing our next hymn. That's number 95 in the gray hymnal. Number 95, There is More Love Somewhere. Please rise as you are able. There is more It has become our practice to pose a question based on the theme of the service each week. It can be a topic for sharing at coffee hour today or with your friends during the week. And if you'd like to delve deeper into the question, we invite you to join us at our Zoom coffee hour on Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. Please contact the office if you need that link. Our question this week is, when you take a metaphorical selfie, a look inside yourself, what do you see? What, if any, changes would you make? I'll repeat that. When you take a metaphorical selfie, a look inside yourself, what do you see? What, if any, changes would you make?
Once again, it was such a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you for welcoming me in such a warm and loving way. I'm going to end with the words of John O'Donnell, followed by the priestly benediction. Please rise as you are able. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you, keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted up unto you, and may you be blessed with peace. Shana Tova, may you be inscribed in the book of life for blessing. Amen.